Hey everybody, we are back and we're going to be talking a little bit about some off-season rumors and the new format of the show going forward. It's time to talk some TSM. Yes, we are back, and I'm so excited to be talking to you guys. And we're going to go over the new format, like I said, and talk about some new stuff. But, first and foremost, thank you for all of those of you who have even watched this show in the past. It's taught me a lot, and I've really enjoyed it. And I'm pretty excited to be coming back with some pretty major changes I think you guys are going to see here already with the openings and the way things are just going to be done. And I would love to know, just what you guys think of these changes as soon as I go through all of them. So make sure that you stick around to the end of the episode to get all of that. But let's get started here already. Question of the day. We will be doing a question of the day to start off with each episode. What has been your favorite part of Worlds 2022 so far? For me personally, being able to be there in New York was amazing. The crowds were incredible. And I just, if you have an opportunity still to go to Atlanta, to go to San Francisco, I know ticket prices are not cheap and everything, but I don't know when the next time we're going to get a Worlds opportunity like this is. So make sure that you guys are going and checking it out. But with that, let's get into some of the news here. So our boy, Spica, the team already kind of announced it, he announced it, where he is exploring his options. He is looking at new opportunities. His contract is still not technically up yet. And I think that that's a really important thing for us as we're talking about all these things, is that Spica and TSM still have time to talk and work together. Now, he made it pretty clear in his exit interview his discussion that he had on TSM Legends, that essentially, he didn't think he'd be coming back. He didn't feel like he was able to live up to the expectations. And I think, the team and everything else that he had loved and cared about is very different. But, I know we didn't really get a huge chance to discuss this, and I wanted to make sure that we did that. So, I'm still really saddened by this. I hope Spica knows that people like myself, and hopefully all of you guys out there too, really appreciated everything that he did, and just how much we care about him and what he was able to do realistically with this team. And so to say the least, we are going to be missing him. There is still a chance that he could come back though, especially with the news that Bjergsen, which we'll talk about in a separate video, is now available and looking around, and that makes what I was going to predict Spica's number one landing spot very contentious at this point. I don't really know. The LCS seems like it's going to be in for a pretty major shakeup, and I'm going to be really interested to see kind of how everybody goes about things and what their decisions are going to be as players, depending on what the LCS is going to do with all these rumored changes. So I'm pretty interested to see where Spica goes. He's going to probably be, if not the highest rated jungler this offseason, pretty close to it. So just, keep an eye out on his tweets, where he's at, who he's with. And I think we might get a little bit of a better indication as to where he could be going next. So goodbye for now, Spica. Know that we will always support you. At least I will. I can't speak for all of you guys out there, but you are certainly going to be missed. Now, this is fun. I get to report on something that we reported on already, and I don't think this is a huge surprise, but TSM likely sticking with Chime for the 2023 season. And here's the thing. A lot of people are like, oh, that's stupid. Like, that's pretty obvious, and why are you using the wording likely to? Listen, guys, even if something in esports, I was talking to a very high-level Riot employee at Worlds when I was there in New York last week, and we were discussing LCS contracts. And basically this individual was like, yeah, contracts in esports, specifically in the LCS and, in League of Legends specifically, they're kind of a joke. The players still at this point dictate who they want to play with and where they want to go. So saying that something is 100% finalized means that the contract is done, or the player themselves says, yeah, I'm doing this. And even then, until the roster is put together and everything like that, things change. I mean, we've seen it. I'm telling you, I was reporting on the Bjergsen Reckless stuff. I've still even heard this offseason that was supposed to happen, and then things at TSM started falling apart, so Bjergsen kind of stepped away, and Reckless obviously was teamless, essentially, after I think he was deciding to come to North America at the time. So these things change. That's why you always want to make sure that your language is like, hey, like, this is what sources are saying, but you got to leave a little wiggle room because, well, it could change. And so with Chime stuff, it's looking like, and it makes sense, that TSM are likely going to stick with Chime for the 2023 season. He's already under contract, so it makes a lot of sense for them to, already have that money put aside. Like, they already know how much he's going to cost. And I think most importantly, two things I think most importantly. One, he played really well. He came in, played with no fear, it felt like, especially after the first week. And, it wasn't just his Rakan play. His playing ability was clearly higher than I think most people anticipated. Maybe it was just that he was put in a system that worked well for him. Maybe his confidence levels were just that much higher because he'd gotten a chance. Maybe he was just playing on adrenaline, or maybe people just didn't have enough tape of him, which would be crazy to me considering how many academy games he's played in and played in the LCS with Golden Guardians. So, is he going to be like top 2 or 3 support in the LCS? Maybe, but probably not, right? But is he really solid, especially for the fact that, we have to have 3 North American players on the team? Yeah, like, this is huge. This is so good. And his playing ability is great. And then secondly, it seems like his leadership abilities are there too. He talked about how initially he kind of maybe struggled to fit in, or not fit in, but feel confident in raising his voice and giving his opinions on things. So he was just going to kind of play and feel the team out. Now we can see what this guy can do when he wants to. He was able to, I think, really help with comms, and I think that was just such a major portion of why TSM probably wanted him in the first place. I had heard a rumor that they had wanted him before then, and then they just got they got the ability to get him, I think, for very little money in a buyout, if really anything, honestly, to give him an opportunity and come in, and he played extremely, extremely well. And so having the leadership ability, somebody who's a little bit more mature, especially in the role, as he is a little bit older. I think he's like 22, 23. When he's making his first plays up here, he's playing a role where you can be a little bit older, honestly, one that you can clearly, at least from what we're seeing with Aphromoo, Chime could play for another 7 years in the LCS, and I don't think anybody would bat an eye about it, right? Especially at the position that he's playing. So I really love this signing. This is like an A+ signing for me, or I guess continued usage of this player, holding on to him, however this may be. And it was also clear to me, they kept putting him on all the shows, right? Him and Solo have been everywhere. I don't know if that means Solo's staying for sure yet. Obviously, we haven't had anything been told to us yet, or anything that's been reported on that. But Chime, I think, being there is, I think, a really good step in the right direction, and allows you to look for imports potentially elsewhere. But yeah, we're already nearing the end of this one, so let's talk real quickly about the new format, the new schedule of Talking TSM going forward. I thought on this a lot. I really wanted to change some things up, and I think, while I know a lot of you may really like the longer form content, it just isn't as, I think, appealing to most people. And so I really thought long and hard on this one. And, this is going to be a shorter show. It's going to be, about 10 to 15 minutes. And during the off season, we're going to have 3 videos a week. So it'll be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, during the off season. This is going to be the Monday episode. I'm going to try to record them, especially during the off season, all in one day, essentially. So you may see me wearing like the exact same garb. Get up. The regular season, honestly, is probably going to be a little bit different. We'll go over that here in a second. But there are just so many topics to discuss, so many things for us to go through. I think the off season is going to be filled with really fun and interesting content that I think you guys are going to like. I hope that you guys enjoy this way of doing things. And it's the goal is for me to kind of put out more content, more digestible content, so that you guys can go about your day and still get your TSM fix for our LCS team. So yeah, I'm sure that this is going to be a little bit of a disappointment for some of you, but I really, 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 really hope that you guys will embrace these changes and know that this is going to allow me to make sure that I'm not missing anything, that I'm not really repeating stuff. Like I just have a better, I think, flow into this schedule, and it's going to allow me to do some other content that I think you guys are going to like coming out potentially even this week, depending on how much time I have. So I hope you guys will stick with me with this. I understand it's a big change, but I think that this will be good. Now for the regular season, this is where I think the biggest changes are going to be. We're going to have 5 episodes a week. Yes, 5 of them. Okay. I've also been learning some editing skills, so we'll be having little bits of edits here and there and stuff like that. We're going to be doing some new openings and everything like that. I'm hoping to have people on more often, all of these kinds of things. Okay. So I will say there is the rumor of the LCS schedule changing, which is going to change up the way that I do things at least a little bit. Initially it was going to be Monday through Friday because the games were on Saturdays and Sundays. Now, if they end up going to like Wednesday, Thursday, then I'm going to have to change some things up, potentially move some things around. I don't really know exactly how I'm going to do it yet. If I'm being completely honest with you guys, I think I'll have to think about it. I may have to put some episodes on weekends, which I don't personally care, but it may not be as good for you guys. I know this is a much more of a weekday distraction kind of thing. So the goal is that day one, whatever that day ends up being, will be my initial reaction to the games. So a lot more like as soon as the games are over, I'm going to record and sit down and just kind of give you guys my thoughts on like, okay, like the last 2 days of games have been absolute crap, or hey, they've been really good, or there's a little bit of a mix of both. Here's how I'm feeling about it. Then I'm going to do a little bit of a deeper dive on day 2 into the draft specifically, because I know this is a point I think that a lot of people like to talk about. I know that I personally really enjoy discussing it. Okay. And obviously I'll do some gameplay things there, but I think it's a little bit easier to kind of just discuss, okay, like here's what I thought about the draft. This is where I think they could have made some changes, or, hey, why are we picking this when literally the rest of the world is picking this? And here's, some examples of how it didn't work or did work, whatever. Then day 3 is going to be a look around the LCS and where TSM are within it, right? So kind of more of a look at, where are TSM in the standings right now? What is everybody else doing? Like how, what do we need to do basically to get ourselves either out of the hole or continue pushing ourselves forward, that kind of stuff. Then day 4, it'll be a focus on the first game of the week. I'll do a deeper dive into, okay, we're playing this, person or this team. Here's my advantages. Here's my disadvantages. Again, keep that one relatively shorter, I think, than in the past, because then I will go into game 2 where we're going to prep for, who else we're playing and what else is going to happen. So I hope that this will help. Again, these are all going to be probably these regular season ones will range probably closer from 10 to 20 minutes, depending on how long, I feel like the needs are to go. But I really hope that you guys will embrace these changes. If you have other suggestions, let me know. I know a lot of you want me to get a co-host. I have really strongly considered that. Like, I hope you understand that, like, as much as I can. The problem is that the way that my recording schedule is, it makes it, I think, one, really hard to do it with somebody else, and two, I'm a little bit erratic when it comes to my schedule just because of all the different things that could be going on, right? I may be recording on a Monday, but the next thing I know, breaking news happens, so I only am able to get one episode in, and then I don't want this person waiting for me. I will try to bring people on, like, our good friends Ben and Tim, and potentially players and other people as often as I can. I really hope you guys understand. I do want to have a co-host one day. I know there are people who would love to, I think, work on this with me. But for right now, it's my schedule just makes it really tough, and I don't want to make it really hard on a co-host currently. So there's a world where I will be able to have a co-host, and that could even happen here with season 3 starting, but year 3, which is crazy to think about. But yeah, again, it's really tough, and I hope you guys understand, and I hope you know that. I know that's like one of the number one things people want. You guys want me to be able to bounce stuff off people. I do think I'm better when I'm able to do that personally with content, but it's just a little tough. So I really do hope that you guys will let me know in the comment section below what you think of this. Make sure that you answer our question of the day to start things off. And just be ready, because you're getting another video in like a day and a half. So I'm really excited to have, again, 3 videos all off season, then 5 during the regular season. We're going to have a ton of other great content coming out. I've got a new Captain Flowers interview coming out pretty much right after this video goes live. So make sure that you check that one out up here. I think it's going to be somewhere around, or maybe on this side. I don't know. It's going to be somewhere on one of these screens. Maybe it's like down here. Down here or something. And then there's going to be another video like right down here too. So go follow those. Go watch those. And I hope you guys enjoy our LCS content as we keep bringing it to you for the 2022 off season. Have a great day, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.